Okay, so if you want to get out of a losing trade, you've a trade has been open for a long time and it's still in loss, and there's a lot of money tied down there, and you want to get out of that position. Of course, one thing you should not do is to just sell. You've made a loss. If you want to get out of a losing position without actually making a loss, you want to get out and at least break even or make a small profit. I'm going to use the example of ATA. Okay, let me use sheep since a lot of us had floating loss on sheep for quite some time, even though I'm sure by now that should be over, but it started again. Of course, mine also closed, but then it opened again, and I thought sheep was going to go up, but it's been going up and down. So right now it's in floating loss. I have about 51 USDT tied up in sheep. Now the options you have can only work if you have extra funds that have not yet been allocated to other coins. I allocated in the sense of they've not yet been used to buy other coins, even if you've already mentally allocated them and strategically allocated them to buy other coins. If those coins have not been bought and those coins are doing well, you can. The options you have are to number one, to close trade on those other coins that are doing well, so that by close trade I mean by if they're already in profit, you can just sell. Okay, you can click on sell. If they're not in profit but they're close to it and you think they will close very soon, you can switch those coins from cycle to one shot. You see, that's what I've done here. I've switched almost everything to one shot. It's only Doge that is on cycle currently. Most likely will later have to switch it to one shot anyway, because it seems not to be doing so well. It did well yesterday, but then it started going down. Okay, so you switch those other coins to one shot so that once they hit profit, they will sell and not buy again. They're about to sell and not buy again. Okay, so that you have more funds available to trade this one coin. You can then adjust your strategy. But if those other coins are also not doing well, it's generally down market and all your money has been used to buy other coins, there might be nothing you can do really. There might be nothing you can do. But if you have extra funds, either because those extra funds have not yet been used to buy other coins, or you have extra funds you can deposit to your Binance, beautiful. As long as you have extra funds, you can adjust trade settings. Of course, you can always adjust trade settings, but that will only have an effect if you have extra funds. All right, so for sheep, for example, or let me use something that is in worse loss. ATA. Okay, it has bought 6 times. Currently, it's 37% in loss, and in USDT, that's about 31 USDT. 83 USDT already committed. Now I want to find a way to close this. I've changed every other one to one shot, and of course I've changed this one to one shot because once it closes, I want it to stay closed. But of course, I can decide to put it in cycles. Once it closes, it starts again, buys again, and of course, it's likely to go for it to have come down this far, unless there's something really wrong. And I think it's going to keep going down. So it has bought 6 times extra. All right, apart from the first buy, that's 6 margin calls. If I'm adjusting my trade settings, my adjustment will start from the 7th margin call, so I may not change anything here. Of course, if my whole profit ratio, take profit percentage, was higher than 1 before, I can reduce it to 1 so that at the earliest opportunity it closes trade. That's one thing I can do. Then under margin configuration, because it has bought 6 times, this is gone. First call, second call, third call, fourth call, fifth call, and sixth call are already gone. So I can now adjust 7th call and 8th and 9th and 10th, or I can even increase the number of calls anyway. But I can adjust the existing ones 7 to 10 and change some of the parameters. Okay, so if I have more funds, instead of using just 10 USDT to buy at each of those drops, I can maybe use 20 USDT. I change it to 2 times. If I have enough funds, I can make it 30 USDT and see how it does. 8th call I can change also. If I have enough funds, I can change it 6 times, maybe this to 9 times or even 12 times if I have sufficient funds to do that, such that once it buys, it will drag down the average price significantly. All right, and of course, I make sure I still have reserve funds in case it keeps dropping. All right, but the more funds I can allocate at the subsequent calls to push down the average cost price, the earlier I can close trade on that coin. Okay, but that will only work if the coin does well after going down. You see, of course, in most cases it will, especially once the market generally starts to recover. And like I said, if I have sufficient funds, I can also increase the number of margin calls, all right, maybe to 15, for example. And then even these 7 to 10 calls, I can change the percentage. Maybe I allow it to drop, to not drop so low before I buy some more. Or I want it to drop lower before I buy any more. Fine. Any which way I deem it fit. But what is likely to help me close it earlier, especially if it has dropped and it's staying at that low level, it's not dropping further and it's not yet rising. And I know it's going to rise over time, but it's taking quite a bit of time. But it's clear that it's not dropping any further. Okay, I can reduce the percentage drops at which it buys extra. I can reduce this to 1%, 1%, 1%, or reduce this to 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. But I have to be intentional, deliberate, okay, and be sure that I have enough funds to manage all of this. Okay, so I can change this. I can leave it as 1, or I can change it to 2, 4, 8, 16, something similar to the recommended settings, but this time with narrower percentages. Or I can use the same percentages, but increase the amount. So it's just to buy more and buy more and buy more to push down the average price. That's what will solve that problem. Of course, it won't be immediate. It will still take time, but it will take less time if I can push more funds in there at that new low price, which is what the bot does essentially, dollar cost averaging. All right. So I'm just changing how fast the bot does it or how much it is using to do it. That's how to close that trade early. But ultimately, what it takes is patience. What it takes is patience. Some of these trades have been open for days now, but with patience, some of them have also closed. All right, Tron has closed. A number of them have closed, and have allocated those extra funds to these ones that have not yet closed. And the market is beginning to pick up, started picking up the last 1 or 2 days. So patience is always key. So sometimes all you can do is just wait. But if you have extra funds to allocate, yes, allocate them towards that particular coin that is not doing so well. But when everything is just red like this, a lot of times the best you can do is wait. But if you have extra funds I have not yet put in the system at all, of course, and you're willing to invest them and wait until the market comes back up, you can afford to keep those funds there until the market comes back up, then definitely you can apply those fresh funds in there by depositing them in your Binance Spot account, and then adjusting settings here to make use of those funds.